So we will start in child's pose tonight. Can come down onto the mat. Take your knees wide and feet together if you want to sort of sink more into your hips. But if you're feeling more in your low back, if you bring your knees together, then it kind of opens up your low back a little bit more. So choose what feels good for you in this moment. You can also choose to have your hands forward or by your sides if that feels better. Okay. So wherever you are, start to land here on your mat. Sink into the floor. Let your hips get heavy. Let your forehead get heavy. And start to bring your awareness to your senses. What do you hear right now? What do you smell? What do you see? Maybe the inside of your eyelids. And what do you feel? And what do you taste? Now bringing your awareness from the outside world to inside. How are you feeling in your body tonight? Notice where your breathing gets a little stuck, or maybe where it finds some ease. And start to deepen your breath. Let it fill up the backs of your kidneys, expand your rib cage. The back of your heart. And if an intention finds its way to you right now, take a moment to embrace that and set your intention. And then slowly start to walk your hands up and over to the left corner of your mat and pulling your right hip back. Breathing into your right side body. And then slowly walk your hands back through center and over to the right side of your mat, pulling your left hip back. And breathing into your left rib cage and shoulder. Good. And slowly bring your hands back through center. We're going to walk our hands as far forward as we can. Maybe bring your hips up a little bit. Tent your fingers and start to reach your armpits down to the floor in a little puppy dog here. Feel like you're pulling into the ground so that your heart starts to pull forward. And then carefully when you're ready, start to lift yourself up and place your hands right under your shoulders into a tabletop. And we're going to do a few cat-cows with your breath. So as you exhale, you round your spine. And then inhale, drop your belly, lift your head and your tail. Moving with your breath. Try to feel every vertebrae moving and warming up. And if it feels good to you to go side to side, you can choose to change that motion up or maybe even make some circles. Whatever your body is asking for in this moment. And we'll take 2 more cycles of breath. And on your next inhale, let's come back to a neutral spine. And we're going to inhale, right arm up to the sky. As you exhale, thread it through without coming down to the ground just yet. Inhale, lifting up. Adding a nice little twist to your thoracic spine. And then exhale, thread it through. One more time, big inhale. And then exhale. This time let your arm, your shoulder, and the right side of your head find the mat. And you can use your left hand to push into the floor a little bit for a bit more of a twist here. Good, and when you're ready, slowly push yourself back up into tabletop. And we're going to go the other side. So inhale, left arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread it through. Good. Inhale, lift. Maybe looking up towards your fingers. And exhale down. One more time. Big inhale, reach up. And exhale, thread your arm through. Let your shoulder and the side of your head come down to the floor. And you can use your right arm this time to gently push into the ground. Maybe add a little twist in the opposite direction here. Good, and when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back up. And we are going to bring our right leg up behind us. Keep our hips square, pointing your toes to the ground. Really using your glute muscles to lift your leg. And then float your left arm forward. Let's warm up our core a little bit. Take a big inhale, lift your arm and leg a little higher. Exhale, bring your knee and your elbow to touch. Good. Inhale, reach, lifting the back of your neck to the sky. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, reach. And exhale, squeeze. One more. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Lift a little higher. And then exhale, lower your hand and your knee. Let's pivot our right foot out to the side. Bring your left foot to the back of your mat. Maybe your hand comes forward a little bit. And inhale to a modified side plank. Reaching all the way from the back edge of your back foot out to your fingertips. Bring your left hip up towards the sky. Make it feel really good. One more big breath in. And then exhale, bring yourself back into your tabletop. This time lifting your left leg behind you. Kick it back. And make sure you're keeping your hips square so that maybe your left hip drops a little bit. And then float your right arm forward. Giving a nice long neck. As you inhale, reach in opposite directions. And exhale, squeeze, elbow and knee come to touch. Good. Inhale, like you're kicking the wall behind you. And exhale, squeeze. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale together. Last one. Inhale, reach with control. And exhale, lower down. So that modified side plank on the other side. Pivot your left foot out perpendicular. Bring your right foot to the back edge of your mat. Your left hand comes a little bit forward, so it's right underneath your shoulder. As you inhale, reach all the way from the back edge of your back foot all the way out to your fingertips. See if you can lift your right hip a little bit higher energetically. Take one more breath. And then exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, spread out your fingertips and your thumbs, and lift up into downward facing dog. Take a moment to walk out your dog. Make it feel really good in your body. Integrate your shoulders, so feel like you're wrapping your shoulder blades down your back, keeping your neck nice and long, and your upper arms are energetically squeezing towards each other. And really push your thumb and your pointer fingers into the ground. Good. Take one breath here with your heels reaching towards the floor. And then bend your knees, and we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet, coming into a forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows and let gravity really just elongate your spine. Maybe shake your head yes and no. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly roll up, really adding a nice bend to your knees as you do so. Take your time. Roll your shoulders back when you get to the top. Maybe let your head rock and roll from side to side. Try to let go of any tension you might be carrying there. Our thoughts manifest in our bodies as tension. Let's see if we can let go of those stories tonight. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands together behind your back. Interlace your fingers, open up in a chest opener here, broadening through your collarbones. And if it feels good, maybe adding that forward fold in, letting your arms come over top. And if you can, try to bring the palms of your hands together. If you are in a forward fold, feel like you're being pulled by your wrists and lift yourself back up. And we're going to release our bind and inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold. Good. Plant those hands and let's walk our hands forward all the way to a high plank. So having your shoulders right over your wrists. See if you can get your bum in line with the rest of your body and kick your heels back like you're standing on the floor, but I guess like old school Batman style. All right, take one more breath here and exhale, hold. Feel nice and strong and stable. Big inhale and exhale, slowly lower down to your belly as slow as you can for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, and we're going to do 3 baby cobras. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, release. Using your strong back, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale up. This time, let your arms float off the ground. Can you lift a little bit higher while you're here? And then release down, pushing back into child's pose for 3 breaths. Let that go. And when you're ready, spread those fingers wide. Tuck your toes and lift up into your downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, right leg high to the sky. And then exhale, bend your knee and bring it to your nose. Good. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, knee to nose, shifting your shoulders over your wrists. One more time. Inhale, reach your leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Now lift your hips a little higher, come up on your back toes, and step your foot between your hands. Staying up on your back toes. Inhale, arms float up, high lunge. Exhale, sink into your front knee a little bit more. Good. While we're here, we're going to rotate our pinky fingers towards each other. You may not be able to see. Towards each other, and then bring your arms back. So you're using your shoulder joint here. Your shoulder girdle, rather, pardon me. to start to open up through your chest. Good, take one more breath, reach a little higher, and exhale, plant your hands down, step back into a high plank. Inhale here, and exhale, lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. Untuck your toes. This time, reaching your arms back behind you. We're going to do 3 lifts this way. So inhale, reach your head up, chest comes forward. Exhale, lower down. Good. Inhale, lift, reaching your arms back behind you. And then exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower, pushing back into child's pose for 3 more breaths. Maybe shaking your hip side to side, releasing anything that's bubbled up in your hips or your back. Good, and let's bring ourselves back up into our downward facing dog. This time, left leg rises, big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Use your strong core. Good, inhale, kick your leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time, big inhale, 3-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. See if you can lift your hips a little higher, come up on your back toes. Step your foot between your hands. Energetically squeeze your legs towards each other, and as you inhale, float up into your high lunge. Exhale, bend into your front knee, sink into it, and really kick your back heel towards the back wall. We're going to do the same thing with our thumbs. You're going to turn your pinky fingers inwards. And that internal rotation to your shoulders, and then reach backwards. Relax your shoulders down. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into high lunge. Inhale here. And last time, exhale, lower for 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time, we're going to come up onto our elbows. There we go, Sphinx pose. So you can stay here, or bend your right knee, and you can grab your right ankle coming into a quadricep stretch here. So feel free to stay up in this Sphinx pose, or if you'd like to take the back bend out of it and just focus on the quad stretch, you can make a pillow with the back of your hand. Let your forehead rest down. If you are binding your ankle, try to squeeze your knees towards each other. Don't let your knees flare out too wide. Good. And releasing your right ankle. Let's bend our left knee this time. Bending your left ankle. Again, option to stay in your Sphinx, which adds a bit of a back bend. If you are here, make sure your shoulder stays down and doesn't creep up to your ears. Or feel free to make a pillow with your hand and focus just on the quad stretch. Good, and slowly releasing that. We're going to tuck our toes. This is going to be a little bit of a strength move. Engage your legs so that your knees are now off the ground. You can have your hands under your shoulders. Engage your core. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, push up into a high plank. Good. Inhale here, and then exhale down into your down dog. Take 3 breaths. Spreading those fingers wide. Bend your knees and lift your hips up a little bit higher. Then start to bring your heels to the floor. Relax your shoulders. Good. Inhale, look towards your thumbs, come up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, and then step or hop to the top of the mat. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift. Hands can come to shins, finding length in your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Then root your feet, and as you inhale, rise all the way up. Look up towards your thumbs. Big stretch. Exhale, let your hands come down through heart center and to your sides to mountain pose. Okay, so I'm just going to come to the top of my mat, and we're going to step back into a warrior two stance with our right leg. So adjust your feet as you need. Your back foot should be perpendicular, and your front heel is intersecting your back foot or heel to heel. Bend into your front knee a little bit more and feel your weight equal between both your legs. Arms reach forward and back. What can you release here? Notice your front knee and bring it outward so you can see your big toe. Sink a little bit deeper. Feel the back edge of your back foot pressing firmly into the ground. And then inhale, let's turn our front palm up. Reverse your warrior, but keep that front knee bent. Are you feeling it yet? Good. Inhale, find length on both sides of your torso. And then exhale, bring your elbow to your thigh. Inhale, side angle pose. Feel free to stay here, or maybe this front hand slides down to the inside of your front foot. Or if you have a bind in your practice, you can bind. So this hand on the ground comes down around, grab your hip, and your upper hand comes behind your back. Feeling your strong foundation while you're here. And you can look down towards the floor or up towards the sky, whatever feels good for you. Take one more breath. Releasing your bind if you have it. And then inhale, reverse your warrior and lengthen through your front leg. So you're kind of in a triangle legs. And we're gonna bring our left arm forward, start to reach forward, and then tip over into your triangle pose, pushing your left hand to the inside of your left leg. And then scoop your left hip underneath. Again, option to look up towards your fingers, if that's okay for your neck, or you can look down towards the ground. Maybe this front hand finds the ground as well to the inside of your foot, if there's space to do so. And engage your core, and inhale, we're going to lift ourselves all the way up and turn your toes to the long edge of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, open up through your chest. And as you exhale, lead with your chin, forward fold in this wide leg stance. You can bring your hands to the ground. And then as you breathe, find more space. Maybe your forehead eventually finds the floor. Breathe into your hamstrings, breathe into your hips. As you inhale, lift yourself up, bring your hands right below your heart. Bring your right hand right below your heart. And then inhale, left arm comes towards the sky. So this twist, we're trying to keep our hips where they are. The twist is focusing on more of your mid to upper back. Take one more big breath in. Feel light. And then exhale, replace your right hand with your left. Inhale, right arm rises up to the sky. Again, try to keep your hips where they are. And twist in your thoracic spine. Take one more big inhale, lift a little higher. Then exhale, lower down. Give your knees a slight bend. Hands come to hips, and then bring yourself all the way up. And we're going to turn to the back edge of your mat now. Turning your right toes out into Warrior Two stance. Adjust your feet as you need. And this is usually a longer stance than you think you want to be in. So when you bend into your front knee, your knee should be right over your ankle. And eventually your thigh should be parallel to the floor. All right. Really planting the back edge of your back foot down the mat. Relax your shoulders. Maybe your palms turn up. Sometimes that makes me feel a little more relaxed in my shoulders. There's no right or wrong here. What can you release in this strong shape? Good. And turn your front palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Finding length through both sides of your torso rather than just collapsing it on the back side. You might feel you're doing. Stay bent in that front knee. You're going to take one more big breath in. Lift. Then exhale. Bring your elbow to your thigh. And your left arm comes bicep to ear in your side angle pose. Choose your shape that fits for you. It can be here, or let your front hand slide down to the inside of your front foot, really getting into that right hip. Or maybe you bind, bringing your top hand down to your back, and the bottom hand comes down and around. See if you can grab your fingers. Nice deep breaths wherever you are. Take one more breath here. Releasing your bind if you have it. And then inhale, float yourself up, straighten that front leg. And then we're going to exhale into our triangle pose. So always keep a micro bend in that front knee. You're going to really push that right hip back. So you start to feel that stretch come to your hamstrings. But also trying to keep a nice long spine here. Your right arm is pushing into the inside of your leg to help you spiral up towards the sky. And let your right hip scoop underneath of you so that you're as two-dimensional as possible. Take one more breath. Feel light. Exhale. And then as you inhale, use your core, lift yourself up. And we're going to turn our toes towards the long edge of our mat. But this time have your toes a little bit out on a 45-degree angle. Or straight forward. Okay. So feel free to adjust what your ankles need, because we're going to bend into our left knee and then bringing your hands down to the ground if that feels okay for you. So you can stay here, pushing your right thigh down to the ground, feeling that nice stretch. Or if you can come down to sort of a ninja stretch, I like to call it. Turn your right toes up to the sky, and then making sure you're balanced. You might be able to keep your left heel on the ground. You can bring your hands to prayer here and lift your heart up to meet your thumbs. Lift the crown of your head up towards the sky. Oof. What can you soften? Maybe lift the corners of your mouth. And then relax down, bring those hands there. Slowly straightening through that left knee. And we're going to bring ourselves over to the right this time. So option to stay here in sort of a runner's side lunge. Or maybe you start to sink your hips down, rotate your left toes up to the sky, and come into this more ninja pose. And it's good to be able to keep your right heel on the ground, but not everyone's ankles are going to do that for you. If you can, bring your hands to prayer. Lift your heart up to meet your thumbs. Nice deep breaths. find the joy in it. And then slowly bring those hands down, walk yourself back up. And inhale, hands to hips, bend your knees. Exhale, bring yourself all the way up and heel toe your feet in. Give yourself a little shake. And we will find balance tonight. Let's bring our right knee up. Okay, flex your foot, and then you're going to cross your ankle over your knee and start to sink your hips back. So you're in this figure 4 standing. Have your arms reaching forward for balance. And sink a little bit lower maybe. Really being mindful of your knee. If you'd like to add in some arms, bring your right arm underneath your left. Option 1 is to grab shoulders, or you can keep going, come into eagle pose here. If you're in eagle, bring your elbows out away from you, and then bring your fingers up towards the sky. So as you sink your hips down, your hands lift up, finding that opposing motion. Breathing into it ever as tight and giving it permission to let go. Take one more breath. And then spiral out, shake it out. What just happened? Without any expectations, we're coming into the other side. Float your left knee up to the sky. Notice your right toes rooted into the ground. Flex your foot on your left foot and cross it over into your figure 4. Using a soft gaze for balance. Arms reach forward as your hips sink down. And flexing your foot is what's going to protect your knee if you're feeling anything in your knee. If you did eagle arms on the other side, we're going to cross left arm underneath this time. Again, you can grab opposite shoulders or keep spiraling your palms towards each other into eagle arms. Bring your elbows out and fingers up, and then sink your hips a little lower. Nice deep breaths here. Using your focal point to keep you steady. You can do it. Take one more breath. And then spiral out. Shake it out. Good. And come to the top of your mat. Let's take a big inhale. Arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold.